All right, welcome back. So in this video, we are going to start with basics of how the internet works, and that is actually quite important for you to know in the mind because we'll see the theory in this video, and the practical is actually what we'll be implementing for the rest of the course, right? How the internet works, because we have to make the internet work for us, right? We have to write a code by which uh, we can send some request and we can get some response. These are the two words that we are going to focus on in this video, right? So request and response, the two words that we'll be focusing on in this video and for the rest of the course, right? So let's just get started with what they mean, right? This is our previous things. All right. So I have a simple yet a really explanatory image right here, right? This is not really complex. We can see there's four things on the whole image, but this is what the request response cycle basically is. A very high level overview. Like, this is not the detail at all. This is just the intro to what the request response cycle is, of course, because we don't want to just get a lot of technical terms right now and not know what any of them mean. So we're just going to see a high level overview of what they are, right? So this is your system, right? This is the laptop that I'm using, or this is the laptop that you're using right now, and you're on YouTube. So of course you are actually doing something on a website, right? Yeah, right. So what you are doing right now, what you did, like when you load a page, I loaded this page right now. So what I did was, let's say I specifically go to Google here. I do www.google.com. What did I do here? I just wrote something by the name HTTPS. I just wrote www.google.com. HTTPS is added by default, right? And next, something was done, right? And I got this page back. Now, as a normal user, you might never have thought why we're getting this page back. But now that you're making things like this, of course you need to know, right? So when you wrote www.google.com up in this bar and you pressed enter, what was done was a request was sent back to a server. They've drawn a CPU, but like you can imagine a proper server here. Like this does look like a CPU, but imagine a server here, right? So what's done here is you send a request to the server, and let's say this is a dialog saying that, okay, I want to visit www.google.com. Then what the server did was it routed the thing to the right place, Google servers, right? Then they thought, okay, this person is requesting www.google.com. Does he have the authorization to go there? They thought, yes, he does have. Because, there's no authorization you need to be on Google. Anybody can go to Google. But let's say I was trying to go to a really secret page that Google has, that, they're like, I don't know, something like this. I'm not sure if they do, of course. But let's say they do have something like this, and I make a request from here, and they say this person is not authorized to visit this page. Then they will say this is not authorized, right? And let's say I am authorized. They say that, okay, you are authorized. Then they will go and they have some code written that is figuring out that when a person asks for www.google.com, then this is the source that we have to return, right? This is the source. A long HTML, CSS, and JavaScript file, and everything being done is handled by this particular view. And when we're typing something here and then we're pressing like enter, then of course something is happening on the back end. But the server decided that I'm writing www.google.com, and hence this is the page that I should get. Like, this is something that I should see on my screen. So that is what the server decided. And once that it had decided everything, that okay, I'm authorized, and okay, this is the page to be sent, it sent back the page to my browser, right, with a status code plus message body. Message body is basically this thing right here. And it told the browser that I'm returning you this, and this is HTML. So pass this HTML and give the person who's making this request this particular page, right? And status code is basically like, you must have seen error 404, that page not found, right? So in that 404 is the status code, meaning that if the page is correctly loaded, then the status code is 200. So basically the server also returns a number saying that the page was successfully loaded or the page was not successfully loaded. In that case, the number depends on what the error was. Like if I try to go to, I don't know if something like this exists, I'm sure it doesn't, right? So this searches, but let's say I was just going to this website and it didn't show up, meaning I have an error 404, right? So this is what the server returns, and this is what is happening every time you are surfing something on the page. And when I'm doing here and I type this and I press enter, then again a request was sent to the server saying that the user has searched for this weird thing and do you want to return it. It said yes, you are authorized to return it, and this is the page that you have to show after that, and that page contains this HTML, right? Great. So what we send to the server is the request, right? Where we say that this is the URL that we want, and ignore the word verb for now. We are going to see the meaning of this verb in the next video itself. But for now, you can ignore what that means. But we are basically telling the server that please let us visit this page, right? And this is what we want. And then the server in return says that, all right, visit this page. This is the HTML that you're getting back. And the browser renders that HTML for us. And we get something that looks like this, right? Great. And let's say I was not authorized to visit the page, like the Google example I was giving, then still it would send back something, right? Saying that, all right, you are not authorized, and then it would print some HTML. And of course, that HTML could be anything. I don't know their secret page, and hence I can't show you that HTML. So that could be anything, and that would show up on my page saying that don't try to hack us or anything, right? So you would still get a response. And whenever you're typing something here and you're seeing something here, or you're doing anything on the page, I'm clicking on this right now and still I'm getting something, right? So every time you're doing something, you're asking the server to do something, right? You're telling the server that this is what I want to do in some form, right? And the server tells you, okay, this is how you can do that, and go on, do whatever you want, right? So this is the request and response cycle. You send a request, you get back a response, and you are doing this all the time. You have done this probably millions of times until now. And now what we're going to do is we are going to write this is the front end, and what's happening in here, like determining whether the user is authorized and deciding what to send back and then sending that back is actually backend, right? So it's like front end sends a request to backend and backend sends back a response to front end, right? And this is what we'll be doing for the rest of the course now. We'll be writing code to convert a request to a response and send that back, right? Great. So this was the request response cycle, and in the next video I'm going to introduce a new resource first and what the meaning of this HTML verb is, right? Great. So that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.